Hey, look at me, I am an animal, we are all animals too. Now we want to show you all about animals and what all the animals do. Animals come in so many sizes and colors and shapes you can see. There are so many different animals living in harmony. Some live up, some live down, some use legs to get around. Some are wet, some are dry, living together side by side on land and sea and in the sky.
Amphibians are special animals in our world, and they have certain things in common. Amphibians have skin that may be moist or wet. Most have skin that is also very smooth. But there are many that have skin that is bumpy. All amphibians are born from tiny eggs. At first, most amphibians have no legs of any kind. Gradually, many amphibians grow 2 or 4 legs. Some of these legs are very, very small. All amphibians begin their lives breathing underwater through gills. Gradually, as they grow legs, some amphibians grow lungs as well to help them breathe air from the surface. Lastly, all amphibians have backbones. Salamanders, frogs, and toads are all amphibians.
There is an animal, a kind of animal, that's simply wonderful to see. Its skin is very wet, and even smoother yet, or it's as bumpy as can be. They start from tiny eggs, they start without their legs, they're really quite a sight to see. But soon they're growing legs that look like tiny pegs, that can be very hard to see. They start their lives down in the water, not the land, the streams and lakes, but not the sea. They've got a name and they're called amphibians. They start their life out swimming free. They breathe at first with gills. Their underwater skills help to get them all the air they need. And while they still are young, most start to use their lungs and head up toward the sun to breathe. They look just like a fish when they give the tail a swish, but they're amphibians, you see. And when they walk ashore, some walk upon all fours, they're still amphibians, you see. Some leave the water off to live upon the land and breathe the air like you and me. Some grow 2 legs and some others will grow 4, but no amphibian has 3. They are amphibians, and they are living in 2 very, very different worlds. 2 very, very different worlds.
Amphibians begin their lives in the water, where they swim about. They move themselves by using their tails. But life in the water is only the first part of the life of some amphibians. For example, tadpoles gradually become frogs as their bodies change and their legs and lungs grow. Once on land, amphibians either crawl about slowly on their legs or they hop from place to place.
Watch the amphibian, see how it's swimming in the water by the movement of its tail. See the amphibians, they have no special fins like fish, and they don't have the fish's scales. Some start down in the water, from eggs left in the water, and when they're born, they're all alone. There's no adult beside them, no parent round to guide them. They have to grow up on their own. They swim about down in the water all around. They look for plants that they can eat. But when they're grown, some go live upon the land and move about upon their feet. And when amphibians change from the way they've been, some go to live upon the shore. It's really quite a treat to watch those little feet moving around on 2s and 4s. Some crawling on the ground, some hopping up and down, some even climbing in trees. Some like to leap and swim, some leap from limb to limb. They seem to hop around with ease. Some leave the water just to live upon the land and walk about upon their feet. Some leave the water seeking food upon the land, looking for insects they can eat. They are amphibians, and they've been living in two very, very different worlds. Two very, very different worlds. An animal, a kind of animal that's simply wonderful to see. Its skin is very wet and even smoother yet, or it's as bumpy as can be. They start from tiny eggs, they start without their legs. They're really quite a sight to see. But soon they're growing legs that look like tiny pegs that can be very hard to see. They live at first in the water, not the land, and get their air through gills, you see. Some go to live in the forest when they can, and breathe from lungs like you and me. They are amphibians, and they are living in two very, very different worlds. Two very, very different worlds.